It was a day like any other, July 2nd, 1955, a routine flight. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. But what happened next? It continues to haunt us to this day. This is the mystery of Flight 914. Pan American Flight 914 was a routine commercial flight from New York to London. 76 passengers boarded the aircraft, excited for their European adventure. The flight crew was experienced, with Captain John Manning at the helm. The plane, a Douglas DC-4 Skymaster, was a reliable workhorse. It had made this journey many times. The plane took off as scheduled and climbed to its cruising altitude. Little did they know, they were embarking on a journey into the unknown. Hours into the flight, air traffic control received a routine transmission. Then, silence. The plane vanished from radar, no distress call, no mayday. Search and rescue efforts began immediately. The Coast Guard scoured the Atlantic. Planes surveyed the vast ocean. Days turned into weeks. The search was eventually called off. Families were left devastated. No answers, no closure. The mystery of Flight 914 became a cold case. But destiny had other plans. The story was far from over. High above the Atlantic, Flight 914 cruised through the air. Passengers read books, gazed out windows, and chatted. Captain Manning and his crew monitored the flight. No one could have imagined the terrifying turn ahead. Hours passed. The sun began its slow descent. Air traffic control in New York expected to hear from Flight 914 soon. Minutes ticked by. The expected call time came and went. They tried to contact Flight 914. Static. The controllers exchanged worried glances. Something was wrong. Flight 914 had simply vanished. Word spread quickly. The Coast Guard launched a massive search. Families clung to hope, praying for a miracle. Newspapers around the world splashed the story across their front pages. Days turned into weeks, then months. Hope dwindled. Flight 914 had become a ghost, its memory lingering over the Atlantic. "35 years passed. The mystery faded into obscurity. Then, in 1990, an air traffic controller in Caracas picked up a strange blip on his radar. An unidentified aircraft. Static. Then, a voice. "This is Pan Am Flight 914, requesting landing instructions." The controller froze. Pan Am Flight 914? Impossible. The flight had vanished over 3 decades ago. Something was terrifyingly wrong. The air traffic controller in Caracas stared at the radar screen in disbelief. The blip showed an aircraft approaching the airport. He contacted his supervisor. "We have a Pan Am flight on approach, Flight 914. The airport went on high alert. Emergency vehicles lined the runway. A sense of unreality pervaded the scene. The airport braced for the arrival of a ghost. The plane, a Douglas DC-4, taxied slowly towards the gate. It seemed untouched by time, a relic from a bygone era. The pilot peered out at the unfamiliar surroundings. The door of the plane opened, and a flight attendant emerged. Then the passengers began to disembark, their faces frozen in confusion. They were like figures from an old photograph brought to life. Airport personnel moved quickly to assist the passengers. The passengers, disoriented and confused, moved as if in a dream. Their passports, bearing dates from 1955, were met with incredulous stares. The news of the plane's arrival spread like wildfire. Journalists from around the globe descended upon Caracas. Authorities struggled to maintain order. The U.S. Embassy was notified and a team of diplomats arrived. Language barriers proved to be a significant obstacle. Medical personnel examined the passengers, who appeared to be in remarkably good health. The passengers' belongings were carefully collected and catalogued. The realization of what had happened hit the passengers like a physical blow. The world they knew was gone. Loved ones had aged or passed on. The joy of reunion was replaced by the bitter sting of loss. The authorities could offer no explanation. The scientific community was baffled. The mystery of Flight 914 became a global sensation. The passengers grappled with the disorientation of their situation. For some, the shock manifested as a childlike wonder. For others, the transition was more difficult, a stark reminder of all they had lost. Yet amidst the disorientation and grief, a sense of shared experience emerged. They were a community forged in the crucible of the unknown. The world reacted with astonishment, skepticism, and curiosity. Experts weighed in, offering their theories. The plane itself became a focal point of intense scrutiny. The passengers' belongings were meticulously examined. Each item was analyzed in the hope of shedding light on the mystery of Flight 914's impossible journey. The authorities, faced with an unprecedented situation, launched a full-scale investigation into the mystery of Flight 914. The FBI, the CIA, and the FAA all became involved, each agency bringing its own expertise and resources to bear on the case. The passengers and crew were subjected to hours of questioning, their accounts meticulously recorded and analyzed. Psychologists were brought in to assess their mental states, to determine if they were suffering from some form of collective delusion, or if their stories held the ring of truth. The plane's flight data recorder, commonly known as the black box, was recovered and analyzed. Experts hoped that it might contain vital information about the flight's disappearance and reappearance, but the data, like the event itself, seemed to defy explanation. The investigation extended beyond the realm of traditional law enforcement. Scientists from various disciplines were called upon to examine the possibility of a time slip, a concept that resided more in the realm of science fiction than scientific fact. Theories were proposed and debated, experiments were conducted, but the mystery of Flight 914 stubbornly refused to yield its secrets. As the investigation progressed, the initial sense of excitement and wonder began to give way to a growing sense of frustration. Every lead seemed to end in a dead end. Every piece of evidence raised more questions than it answered. The mystery of Flight 914, it seemed, was as impenetrable as the day the plane had first vanished. The passengers' stories, though consistent in their broad outlines, differed in their details. Were these discrepancies simply the result of faulty memories, the passage of time blurring the edges of their experience? Or were they indicative of something more sinister, a deliberate attempt to conceal the truth? Whispers of a cover-up began to circulate, fueled by the lack of concrete answers and the government's seeming reluctance to share information. Was Flight 914's disappearance and reappearance the result of some top-secret experiment gone wrong? Were there forces at work, forces beyond the comprehension of ordinary citizens, that sought to keep the truth hidden at all costs? The investigation, despite its best efforts, failed to provide any definitive answers. Flight 914 remained an enigma, a perplexing anomaly that defied rational explanation. The plane, its passengers, and its journey into the unknown became a haunting reminder of the limits of human knowledge, a testament to the fact that some mysteries are simply beyond our grasp. The world, captivated by the story of Flight 914, hungered for answers. Theories ranging from the plausible to the outlandish abounded. Was it a time slip, a rip in the fabric of reality? Was it a government cover-up, a conspiracy of silence designed to protect a dark secret? Or was it something else entirely, something beyond human comprehension? The story tapped into a deep-seated human fascination with the unknown. The possibility that there are forces at work in the universe that we can barely begin to understand. For some, it was a source of fear, a reminder of the fragility of our existence and the capricious nature of time. For others, it was a source of hope, a tantalizing glimpse into the possibility of miracles and the boundless mysteries that the universe holds. The story of Flight 914 became a cultural touchstone, a shared experience that transcended geographical boundaries and cultural differences. It was debated in classrooms, discussed in bars, and analyzed in countless books, articles, and documentaries. The mystery, like the plane itself, had taken flight, capturing the imagination of a world hungry for wonder, for mystery, for a break from the mundane realities of everyday life. The inexplicable return of Flight 914 after 35 years ignited a firestorm of speculation. The scientific community, grappling with the apparent impossibility of it all, found themselves drawn to the fringes of theoretical physics. Could this be evidence of a phenomenon long relegated to science fiction, a time slip? Einstein's theories of relativity, while mind-bogglingly complex, offered a glimmer of possibility. Could the plane, through some unknown and improbable cosmic event, have become entangled in a fold in space-time? Had it somehow slipped through a temporal wormhole, a shortcut connecting two distant points in time? The very notion challenged the foundations of our understanding of the universe. Time, once considered linear and immutable, was now being reimagined as a fluid, malleable dimension. Could Flight 914 be a message from the cosmos, a tantalizing clue to the true nature of time itself? The scientific community, energized by the challenge, embarked on a quest for answers. Experiments were designed to test the limits of our understanding of physics. Could we, through scientific means, recreate the conditions that might have led to Flight 914's temporal displacement? The answers, it seemed, lay hidden at the very edge of human knowledge. The possibility of a time slip, while captivating, was not without its skeptics. Critics, quick to point out the lack of empirical evidence, argued that the laws of physics were simply not meant to be broken. Time, they argued, was a constant, an unyielding river flowing in one direction. Yet the evidence, or lack thereof, was itself part of the mystery. If Flight 914 had indeed slipped through time, where had it been for 35 years? What forces had conspired to pluck it from the sky, only to deposit it back into our reality as if nothing had happened? The passengers' accounts, while compelling, only deepened the enigma. They spoke of a normal flight, a routine journey interrupted by nothing. There was no sense of lost time, no awareness of the years that had passed. Had their perception of time itself been altered during their journey through the void? The more the mystery was examined, the more it seemed to slip through our fingers like sand through an hourglass. The very act of observation, of trying to pin down the truth, seemed to alter the nature of the enigma itself. Was the universe playing a cosmic joke, toying with our perception of reality? Or were we simply not equipped to comprehend the forces at play? If we entertain for a moment the possibility of a time slip, the implications are staggering. What does it mean for our understanding of the universe, of our place within the grand tapestry of time? Does it suggest that the past and the future are not so distant after all? Could there be other such folds in time, other cosmic shortcuts waiting to be discovered? Could we one day harness these forces, unlock the secrets of time travel, and venture into the uncharted territories of the past and the future? Throughout history, there have been whispers and legends of time travelers, of individuals who have seemingly stepped out of time itself. Are these simply tales spun by imaginative minds, or could there be a grain of truth hidden within these ancient stories? The passengers of Flight 914, whether they realize it or not, may hold the key to unlocking these mysteries. Their experience, if fully understood, could revolutionize our understanding of time and space, ushering in a new era of scientific discovery. But are we ready to face the implications? Are we prepared to confront the possibility that our reality is far stranger, far more wondrous and terrifying than we ever imagined? The mystery of Flight 914 haunts us, like a ghost story whispered around a campfire. It speaks to a primal fear of the unknown, the thin veil separating the familiar from the inexplicable. Have we found evidence of a dimension beyond our understanding where time unravels? Or is the truth far simpler, hidden by human error and natural phenomena? Perhaps the answers lie in overlooked details, not the extraordinary. The story of Flight 914 reminds us of the limits of our knowledge and the mysteries at the edges of our understanding. It compels us to question our assumptions and embrace the unknown. The plane and its passengers remain suspended between fact and folklore, a testament to the unexplained. The mystery of Flight 914 endures, a haunting echo in the corridors of time. Flight 914's disappearance sparked conspiracy theories. The human mind seeks patterns, filling voids with narratives. Online forums buzzed with speculation. Amateur sleuths dug through archives and analyzed photos. They wove narratives of shadowy agencies and secret experiments. Some whispered of Project Blue Book and extraterrestrial realms. Had the government silenced the passengers to protect us? Others pointed to Area 51 and reverse-engineered alien technology. Was Flight 914 part of a clandestine experiment gone wrong? Were the passengers unwitting subjects in a grand experiment? The government faced accusations of a cover-up. Their silence fueled suspicion. Were they protecting a dangerous secret? The official explanation did little to quell speculation. Human error and unusual weather were cited. Its reappearance remained a mystery. The public remained unconvinced. The government's words rang hollow. Doubt refused to be silenced. Conspiracy theories took on a life of their own. They spread through the darkest corners of the internet. Flight 914 became a symbol for hidden truths. Fact and fiction blurred. The story of Flight 914 became a cautionary tale. The human mind craves certainty, a neat and tidy explanation for the chaos of the universe. We seek patterns, connections, and causality, striving to impose order on a world that often seems indifferent to our need for logic and reason. And yet, some mysteries, like the enigma of Flight 914, stubbornly refuse to be solved. Perhaps the truth lies between scientific possibility and fantastical narratives. Flight 914's journey might be a perfect storm of anomalies, human error, and vastness of time and space. Or perhaps it was a glimpse into a realm beyond our understanding. The story of Flight 914 reminds us of the limits of our knowledge and the vastness of the unknown. It compels us to embrace the unknown and accept that some questions may never have definitive answers. The saga of Flight 914 leaves us with more questions than answers. Where did the plane go for those missing 35 years? What did the passengers experience? Was it a time warp, a rift in reality, or human error? The truth remains elusive. Despite the lack of evidence, the story fascinates. We seek explanations, clinging to the unknown. The mystery of Flight 914 reminds us of our limits. Why are we so drawn to mysteries, to stories that defy explanation and challenge our understanding of the world? Mysteries ignite our curiosity, inviting us to become detectives in our own right. We search for clues, connecting dots, constructing narratives. The story of Flight 914 speaks to our desire to explore the unknown. It reminds us that the universe is a place of wonder and mystery. The allure of mystery lies in the journey of exploration. Embrace the unknown and let it ignite our imaginations. The enduring mystery of Flight 914 has captivated the public imagination for decades, inspiring countless books, documentaries, television shows, and films. The story, with its blend of fact and speculation, has become a modern-day myth, a tale whispered around campfires and shared online. From paranormal investigators to science fiction writers, from conspiracy theorists to armchair detectives, the story has attracted attention from a diverse range of individuals and groups, each offering their own interpretations and explanations. The very act of reimagining the story, of weaving it into our cultural fabric, speaks to the power of mystery to both entertain and provoke. Flight 914 has become a blank canvas upon which we project our fears, our fascinations, and our enduring desire to make sense of the unknown. The story's presence in popular culture has ensured that the legend of Flight 914 will continue to intrigue and inspire future generations. Whether depicted as a time-traveling vessel, a government cover-up, or an encounter with the paranormal, the enduring appeal of the story lies in its ability to tap into our deepest fears and our wildest dreams, reminding us that the universe is a place of infinite possibilities. Flight 914 has transcended its origins as a news story, evolving into a cultural touchstone, a shared experience that continues to spark debate, ignite imaginations, and remind us that some mysteries are destined to remain unsolved. The story of Flight 914, whether we choose to believe it or dismiss it as an urban legend, invites us to contemplate the nature of time, the fragility of reality, and the limits of our understanding. It is a story that reminds us that the universe is a place of wonder and mystery, where anything is possible, and where the most incredible stories are often the ones that we cannot explain. In a world increasingly dominated by technology and the pursuit of certainty, the mystery of Flight 914 serves as a potent reminder that some things may always remain beyond our grasp, and perhaps that is precisely where their power lies. Mysteries like unsolved puzzles invite us to become detectives in our own right, to embrace the unknown, and to acknowledge that the universe still holds secrets that continue to tantalize and inspire our imaginations. So the next time you gaze up at a star-filled sky, or find yourself captivated by a story that defies explanation, remember Flight 914? Let it serve as a reminder that the universe is a place of wonder and mystery, a realm where anything is possible, and where the most incredible stories are often the ones that we cannot explain.